Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's live virtual event. My name is Cassidy Quintana, and I am the brand ambassador here at Travel Media Group. Happy March. I can't believe I'm saying that. The last time I talked to you guys, we were just kicking off the year in January, and now we're already getting ready for it to be April. I can't believe how fast time is going, but time is passing by quickly, so what better topic than the one we have for today? Speaking of March, if you're like me, you love basketball, March Madness is in full swing. I played college basketball, so I thought what better way to bring this topic to you guys than to compare it to my other favorite thing, which is basketball. So today we have prepping for the busy season, your 2025 hotel social media playbook. This is a really good topic because a lot of you hotels are coming out of March, catching your breath from the spring break rush. You know, we've got April and May to kind of get ourselves back together before summer picks up. So can have a lot of great information for you today. Just a couple of ground rules to go over before I jump in. If you're not seeing myself as well as the presentation, there are a few buttons on the bottom of the console you can mess with. Make sure you're seeing myself as well as the presentation. Second, there's going to be a lot of great examples I go over. Feel free to take screenshots, take notes. But if you're like me and you want to just sit back, relax, and pay attention, don't worry, we'll be sending this recording to you after the event concludes. So don't feel like you have to capture everything that I talk about today in the moment. You'll be able to see the recording for as long as you want. Send it to whoever, they can watch it as well. You'll get all of that information at the end. So with all of that in mind, I have one more announcement. So if you're on part one of our social success series, I introduced this hotel social media champion badge that we are doing. So last year we had 4 sessions of our social success series. Afterwards, we had a lot of great feedback, but people were wanting just a little bit more to be engaged with it. So we came up with this idea that if people attend all of our 2025 Social Success Series webinars, they will receive this badge. So at the end of the year, if you attend every single one that we've done, you will get this badge. And I don't want you to freak out because I know in the hotel business, 2 o'clock on a Wednesday may not be the best time for you, right? So if you can't attend, you can still register and you can go back and watch the recording whenever you're available. We can see exactly who watches, so we can keep track of that. So same thing, if you missed out on part 1, you can go back and register for that. Watch it, and we'll be able to see who watches. So at the end of the year, if you get your badge, and furthermore, post it to your LinkedIn page, tag Travel Media Group, you will also be entered in a chance to win a social content creation basket, which is awesome. It's gonna be filled with a tripod, some microphones, a light, everything that you would need to capture content on your iPhone at your property. So super, super exciting. If you know anybody that'd be interested in this, please feel free to send them to it. We want as many people involved in this as possible. It's gonna be super awesome. I wish I could enter myself into the content creation basket. But with all that being said, let's jump into today's topic. Before I kind of go through everything, I do want to launch a poll just to kind of gauge where everybody is at. So how prepared do you feel about your social strategy heading into the summer of 2025? So A, very prepared. Everything is already ready to go. B, you've got mixed feelings. Some ideas are in place, but not everything that you need. C, you're not prepared. You're not really where you want to be. Or D, no idea. You haven't even thought about the summer season yet. So when thinking about your summer social strategy for your property, how prepared do you feel? So I'll give you a couple of seconds, minutes to answer this poll. Give you a couple more seconds. A lot of answers are coming through. Perfect. All right, let's move forward. All right, so we're kind of up and down the board here, right? Mixed feelings, some ideas are in place. Got a couple people not prepared, some with no idea. So this is kind of where I expected everybody to be. It's really hard to think, 2 months in advance when you're just coming off a spring break high, it's hard to think about that. You want to think about the next week that's coming up. So this is kind of where I thought everybody would be. Mixed feelings is a good place to be, right? You have some foundation, but you're just missing a couple of things. Maybe it's some content ideas, maybe it's just other things you're not totally sure of, which is what we're going to cover today. So thank you for answering that poll. Let's go ahead and jump right in. So like I said, I love basketball. I played basketball. I watch basketball all the time. So I thought, social media, there's a lot of correlation between social media and sports, right? We know in sports and basketball, a winning team requires strategy, teamwork, and execution. Without those, you're not going to win, right? You're not going to be successful. Even if you're missing one of those, you're not really going to be that successful. It's the same thing with social media, right? So our strategy in social media is our game plan, our playbook, the what, when, and how we're going to post, right? So when we think of that in sports, you can have a bunch of plays that you want to run. That's great. You can have your strategy in place. Same thing with social media. You can have your entire strategy, your framework ready to go, but you're not going to be successful if you don't have the players, right? So in social media, that's our content, that's our videos, our photos, the experiences people are sharing online, right? This is the player that makes up the team. This is super important. And then obviously what comes as a result from that is the engagement. So if you've ever been to a sporting event, the fans are very involved, right? If you're doing really bad, they're going to let you know. If you're doing really good, they're going to let you know. So when we think of that in social media terms, you can see what your audience is enjoying, right? If they like it, they're commenting, they're sharing it, or if they're just not engaging at all, right? This is all telltale signs. So what is our overall goal of this webinar, of social media in general? We want to keep our hotel ahead of our competition. We want to increase our bookings. And we also want to build guest loyalty, right? At the end of the day, we want people to say, wow, I loved that stay so much. I want to come back, right? So they're going to connect with you on social media so that they don't miss a thing. So let's talk about a little bit about content. Our content lineup matters, right? Different types of content are going to serve different types of purposes, right? When we think about a basketball team, we're not going to ask our 7-foot center to go out and dribble the ball and play point guard. Same way we're not going to ask our point guard to guard down low and guard guys that are bigger than him, right? So each plays a unique role. Same thing with our content. We're going to post a variety of content that each serve their own purpose, but come back to our end goal, our overall goal. So like I just mentioned, we need a balanced mix of content to appeal to potential and returning guests. I use this image of the USA men's basketball team because they are the epitome of a complete team, right? Everybody knows their role, they know their purpose, but they all come together for that end goal, which is to win. So let's jump into some specific types of content. A lot of these examples you're going to see today are examples that our social media team has created for our clients. A lot of great ideas that you guys can take from these. So feel free again to write them down. If not, you'll get this recording after and you can take the notes from there. But number one, short form video. I feel like I say this in every single webinar, but it's going to remain true probably until the end of time, right? It's our MVP. I compare this to Michael Jordan, right? We can count on Michael Jordan. We know that he's going to perform every single time. This is the same with short form video. Guests are engaging more with quick, visually appealing content, right? We don't want to scroll on social media and pause to read a lot of text, right? I'd rather scroll on social media, stop to watch a 10, 15-second video, continue my scrolling. I don't go on social media to use a lot of brain power, right? I want to go on there to be entertained. I want to go on there to learn quickly. It's just easier to engage with videos. So what are the strengths? Well, the versatility between platforms is number one. When we think about TikTok and how it blew up after 2020, we saw Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, all these platforms try and integrate short form video into their algorithms, right? They want to compete with TikTok. Longer engagement, like I just said, people are more likely to stop, watch a video than they are to read content. So what are some things we can post? We can do room tours, behind the scenes looks, staff spotlights, and local attractions. And I want to point out that all these examples that you're seeing are not even videos. Like they are photos that our hotel partners have sent us, and our team is creative and takes these photos and turns them into videos, right? By adding music, adding text, adding some motion to those photos. So you don't have to think too hard about your video. I don't want you to hear video and be like, I can't go around my property and take videos of the whole thing, right? You can take photos and turn them into videos. Number two, user-generated content, right? This is the content that your guests are posting on their personal pages, right? It's not coming from the branded page, it's coming from their own page. So we know that consumers are more likely to view UGC as authentic. I compare this power forward to LeBron James, right? We know that LeBron James, again, is going to do his job and he's going to perform to the level that we know LeBron James to perform. This is the same thing with UGC. We're putting our trust into that because it's more authentic, right? People trust UGC more than they're going to trust content coming from your branded page. So strengths, like I just mentioned, it's trustworthy, it's brand advocacy that you're not having to do, and it's cost-effective marketing. What I mean by that is it's free, right? You're not having to do anything for somebody to post about your property and tag you, right? You may have to ask them, but at the end of the day, you're not putting any money towards this. This is why it's so important. This is why it's more authentic, because I, as a traveler, would much rather trust my friends or an influencer's opinion than I am going to trust a picture-perfect branded content, right? So make sure you're encouraging your guests to tag your hotel. Hey, when they check in, if you guys take any photos, feel free to post them on social media, tag our page. When they're checking out, hey, if you enjoyed your stay, post any photos. We would love to share that. Ask them to use a branded hashtag if you have one, and make sure you're reposting that content, right? It's great to see that they're posting it on their own, but if you're not engaging with that, if you're not reposting it, it kind of goes to waste, right? So make sure you're staying involved and being involved in UGC that people post. Number 3 is our stories and live content, comparing this to a shooting guard. So think about your favorite three-point shooter. I'm from Orlando, Florida, so I love JJ Redick when he played for the Magic. Think about Ray Allen, the best three-point shooter you know, comparing this to stories, right? It's real-time, quick content. If you need a quick shot, a quick 3 in a game, call on your best three-point shooter. On social media, if we need a quick win and we need a quick post, we're looking at our stories and live content, right? So it's real-time, authentic engagement. It builds trust and creates FOMO. So the strengths, like I just said, it's quick, it's engaging, and it supplies that brand and guest connection, right? Like this example right here, hey, just a reminder, we're having a happy hour Wednesday. Here's the kickoff for the NFL draft, all the details, right? This is more so for the guests that are staying with you currently, because as we know, on Instagram, stories disappear after 24 hours. So it's more so for quick, hey, you need to know this content. So strategy, we can share daily highlights, we can run Q&A sessions, we can show off special events. I really liked this example I saw on Instagram the other day about, hey, we just got new shades, come up to our desk and ask for them so you can use them by the pool. Quick hit, quick content, building that brand guest connection. Next, our interactive and engagement-driven content is our point guard. When I think of this, I think of Steph Curry automatically. When you know a point guard, they're the person that brings the ball down the court. They are calling the plays, they're calling the shots, they're telling everybody else what to do, right? This is the same thing with engagement-driven content. We are telling our viewers, our guests, our followers what we want them to do. So it's going to keep our audience involved, leading to higher visibility through algorithm boosts, right? The more somebody engages with your post, the more somebody else is going to see it. So like I just said, algorithm boost, brand guest connection the same way, and consideration as well. So great example right here. So simple. Go outside, take a photo of your pool or whatever you have in your backyard. Join us poolside, yes or no. Super easy. Instagram is known for their polls, their quizzes, their contests, and comments to prompt and increase interaction. Same thing with this example right here, right? Simple photo of a hotel breakfast. You add that little slider of how much people love it at the bottom. Quick engagement. We are telling our audience what we want them to do. SEO optimized long form content. This one's a little bit trickier because it does involve a little bit more thought process. You have to think a little bit, deeper about what you're going to talk about. But I do want to say why this is important, right? It's going to help with your organic search visibility and long-term brand authority. So this example right here is a hotel blog where they post a variety of topics, right? Travel tips, vacation spots, anything that they think people would find relevant. So the strengths behind this is AI searchability, AIO, SEO, it's trustworthy, right? People are going to be more in tune and more apt to trust you if you have all this kind of content. And I do want to point out that you don't have to have a blog on your website, right? A lot of you may be sitting on this call thinking, well, Cassidy, I don't have that kind of audience, right? They're not going to want to read blogs that we post. You can also do this on LinkedIn and Facebook, right? LinkedIn and Facebook are more prone to be accepting to long form content. So I love this example. They took photos of murals around the city, made like a little tour guide that they could post with all the information that a viewer would need to be able to go look at all these murals, right? So it doesn't have to be a blog post, doesn't even have to be super long form, but I want to talk about AI just a little bit because as we know right now, AI is everything, right? People are searching on ChatGPT to make them a whole travel itinerary, right? Like I can go on there and say, hey, I'm going to Orlando for these days. Here's all the things I want to do. Create me an itinerary. And ChatGPT is going to use Google search, things that are trending on social media to fill that itinerary. So if we're not posting this kind of content, we reduce the chance of our property being included into that itinerary. So like I said, you can create blogs or LinkedIn posts about seasonal travel tips, local experiences, and hotel amenities. So now that we've got all of our content out of the way, our 5 main pieces of content, we need to talk about how can we build a winning content calendar. I have heard this phrase, consistency wins games, my entire life, right? My college coach engraved that into my brain. I use that in my day-to-day personal life, business life as well. We know that posting sporadically is not going to keep your hotel top of mind. If you're posting once a month, once every few months, nobody's going to remember your property name. Nobody's going to remember anything about you. So we need to make sure that we have a structured content calendar That's going to help you stay active and engaged even during the peak season when you don't have all the time to think about it, right? This whole webinar is about preparing for the busy season, because I know you guys are busy all day. You don't want to have to worry about what's happening online, what's happening with your social media. So if we can be one step ahead and have everything planned out, then that's exactly where we want to be. So this screenshot right here that you're seeing is from our TMG OneView platform. So this is exactly what our hotel partners see when our social media team puts in all their content. You can see that it's a balanced mix of promotional, engagement driven, and even some user generated content, right? We have events in here. We are talking about property features. It's diverse. And another thing, it's planned out, right? This is an entire week of content planned out in advance. Our team makes sure that they are 2 weeks in advance at all times so that you have time to go in, make edits, put some comments in, whatever the case may be. But this is extremely important because you can automate posts during the busy periods. But I do want to mention that you want to allow time for engagement when it's needed. So just because you have everything planned out doesn't mean you can just post it and leave it, right? You need to go back and make sure you're not getting any comments that you need to respond to, direct messages, etc. But this is a great tool. OneView is awesome. You can just get in there. Our team puts everything there for you. It's all in one place, planned out in advance. Super, super important so that you don't have to freak out the week before. Hey, we have no content for next week. It's already there. It's already good to go. Next up is listening to our fans. Like I mentioned in the beginning of this webinar, if you're a bad team, your fans are going to let you know, right? They're going to let you know on social media. They're going to let you know at the games. Same on the other side of the spectrum. If you're really good, your fans are going to let you know. Good coaches listen to their players, they listen to the fans, and they listen to the owners, right? This is the same thing, but a little bit different. We're going to do social listening for social media. We want to understand what travelers want to see and know. So this example, perfect on the left. Someone commented, when does beach service start? They had a great response, let them know the date, even added the link so they could go in and do that, right? This is something that you could take and post about later. Like, hey, we had someone comment on our Facebook about when our beach service starts. Let's make a post about that so everybody knows. So we want to align our content with travelers' search behavior. This is extremely important going into the summer season when we know families are traveling for summer vacation. July 4th is coming up. There's a lot of different events. We want to promote those, right? Because we know that that's what people are going to be searching for. Hey, where can I go watch fireworks in Gatlinburg? This hotel already posted about it, right? They already have all the information you need of where you can watch the fireworks. You can even stay with them. Look how close it is to where the fireworks show is happening. Start promoting your summer deals now in the spring so that those people that are starting to search now for their summer break know exactly what you're offering. And then double down on what might interest them for the season, which is kind of just what I mentioned about 4th of July. All right, scouting our opponents. In sports, it's great to have your game plan, your strategy, but if we're not thinking about what our opponent is going to do, we're probably not going to win, right? We need to know what their strengths are. We need to know what their weaknesses are. We need to know what their plan is going to be. Same applies to social media. I keep saying that, but there's so many correlations. Knowing what our competitors are doing can help us stay ahead. So like I mentioned, I'm from Orlando, Florida. Our office here is in Maitland, which is right outside of Orlando. I took this screenshot of hotels by the international airport in Orlando. You can see just how many properties there are right next to each other, within a mile of each other. So imagine you're one of these properties that's not on social media and everybody else is, right? You may not even realize how many guests you're losing because they're all going to your competitors that have social media where they could do some pre-research about where to stay, right? So if we analyze our competitor strategies, we can identify content trends that are resonating with travelers, spot gaps in their strategy and turn them into our advantage, adjust our own posting frequency, engagement tactics, and promotions to be more competitive. See if they're engaging with comments and DMs or just posting and leaving. I heard one time someone say posting and ghosting, and that has stuck with me because, like I mentioned earlier, it's great if you're posting, but if people are commenting and you're not engaging back, that's not really a good look either. It's almost like leaving a review and not getting a response, right? We want to make sure that if people are engaging with us, we're engaging back. So if we're looking at our competitors and they're not doing that, that is something we want to make sure we're doing. And I don't want to scare you, but I want to scare you just a little bit because look how many hotels are within a mile of each other. This is happening to you. And if you're not on social media, your competitors are, you're losing guests left and right, and you have no clue why, no idea. This is why. People are turning to social media for their searches. they're trusting brands that have active social media more than the ones that don't, right? Because they can know everything about the hotel they're going to stay at with just social media. So with all of this in mind, I want you to think about letting TMG be a part of your winning team, right? I feel like our stats here show everything that you would need to know why you would want to pick us on your team, right? We have 40 years of experience in hospitality. We post across 4 platforms. We've created over 1 million posts for our hotel partners, and we've also garnered over 1 million followers across all of our hotel platform social media, right? The good thing about TMG and working with us for social media is you can get us your content and then not have to worry about it, right? Our social media team takes care of creating the content, writing the captions, and making sure it posts, going back to see how it's performing, right? We do all of that for you because we want to see you be successful, right? We want to help you. We want you to be able to focus on your day-to-day without having to worry about what's happening on social media, right? That is why we're here. We're not going to take a sick day. We're not going to quit the team. We're not going to be traded to somebody else, right? We are loyal to you. We're loyal to your team. We want to make the team successful. So I just want you to keep that in mind. I know right now Hilton is doing their second round of evaluations and social media audits. Super important stuff, right? It's best to be ahead of all that, get prepared, making sure all of your ducks are in a row, because when that summer season picks up, you're really not going to want to think about social media, right? So now is the time to get ahead of it, get your plan in line so that when the peak season comes, we're good to go, right?